Hi, my name is Tony Power,
And I'm Barb Power.
and we're delighted to spend a few minutes to let you know our experience with Dorothy Ley Hospice, um, and just give you an understanding of our journey with my father, who passed in May of last year. My father had developed vascular dementia about 4 years ago, and we made a decision to bring him home. Shortly thereafter, he was diagnosed with colorectal cancer, had a fairly major operation, and really it necessitated a lot of home care duties for Barb and I. And we essentially, had a game plan to manage that on our own until my dad passed. And that really was something that we had planned to do until things became a little bit more challenging.
When the palliative care team first came in, we asked Dr. Salvo why we would consider hospice. And her answer to us was because then you just get to be family. You're no longer the caregivers, the PSWs, the cooks. And that really sat with us for quite a while. And then we went for the tour. And the moment you walk into Dorothy Ley, there is just this feeling of peacefulness and comfort. We left the tour saying, wow, we would be so incredibly fortunate if Tony Sr. was able to get a spot here. That's how we felt after 20 minutes being in that building and looking at all the services they provide. The rooms they're cozy and comfortable. It doesn't look like a hospital. It feels like home. There's a full setup kitchen, and everybody that we had a point of contact with was just so warm and friendly and compassionate. And we were exceptionally lucky. We got a spot the following Tuesday, and we moved Tony Sr. in. And 4 days later, it was Easter Sunday, and it was actually his birthday. And we went in at 7 in the morning, and bless this woman in the kitchen. She was a cancer survivor and had actually just finished treatment for a second round of recurring cancer. And she was there at 7 o'clock in the morning. She knew it was Tony's dad's birthday, and she just cooked up the most incredible home fried breakfast you could ever imagine. And we went into his room, and the staff had decorated with balloons and streamers. And that really speaks to how Dorothy Ley treats each person that's in there as an individual, and celebrates each day that they're here. They don't treat them like someone who's dying. They treat each day treats them like they're a living person each day. We were amazed at the volunteers that we came into contact with. All of them seemed to have a story and connection with Dorothy Ley, whereby they had been so impacted by their experience that they had chosen to come back and volunteer themselves. And many of them had been volunteering for extended periods of time, 10 years. And it was a give back that they were just so proud of and felt so good to do. And I think that's one of the things about Dorothy Ley, is that it survives based on just these beautiful, generous people donating their time, which is why, we know now the fundraising for Dorothy Ley is so important, because a big part of the specialness of that place is the volunteers who give their time. When we would go home at night, we actually didn't worry about Tony Sr. And we both talked about it, and we had wondered, and we're pretty sure the answer, had he been in a hospital, we're not sure we would have gone home and been able to sleep as well as we did, knowing the care that he was receiving at Dorothy Ley. And in those last weeks with a loved one, that, like, to be able to sleep at night knowing the quality of care he's giving is as good as what we could have given him, I think says a lot. So the high quality of care and compassion that we experience there, we felt like there is this hidden gem in Etobicoke that we didn't know about, and that you don't really get to know about until you're faced with that situation. And when you are, we actually couldn't have been more grateful for the staff, the service, and the entire experience. The last 3 weeks of his life, Tony got to be his son. I got to be his daughter-in-law. We were able to bring family in to just sit and be with him in the comfort of the hospice. And it just would have been such a different experience if we hadn't been able to do that. So we are incredibly grateful.